Hi, this is Tim from UK Home Gym, your home for UK specific independent home gym tips and advice. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about bicep training, because who doesn't like bicep training? Even if you're like me and more strength focused, I do think that most people going to the gym, particularly most men going to the gym, are really going to want to do a little bit of bicep training here and there. Um, for the aesthetic side, but also for the practical side, because it does help you. I find it helps me at least, um, for the compound lifts to have good strong bicep muscles and bicep tendons. Now there are two exercises that I think are S tier when it comes to training biceps. Number one is the preacher curl. I think that's great for the shortened position, and then for the lengthened position of the bicep, the behind the body cable curl. So you've got the weight is behind you. You start off in that stretch position, and you're curling towards you with the weight behind you. Now, I think those are two great exercises. Unfortunately, I don't think they're at all practical for most British UK home gym owners. The reason why is because if you're like me and you've got a smaller home gym or a smaller space that you can devote to, being your home gym, do you really want to put a preacher curl station in there? It's going to take up a lot of space. And unless you are someone who's very, very devoted to building biceps, it's a single-use machine, really. Then, the other one with the cables, you're only really going to be able to do that exercise if you've got like a proper dedicated cable station. And I'm talking about, the kind that you would find in a commercial gym. That's going to be A, very expensive, and B, it's going to take up a heck of a lot of space in your home gym. Now, I'm sure you could make an argument for just having, not having a squat rack, for instance, but just having a cable station. You could do that. You could do that, but I don't think that you could build a proper strength program on that. It would be good for maybe aesthetics, maybe, but I don't think it would be a proper strength program. And there is a certain point beyond which you can't go because you'll max out the machine or whatever. Probably not doing bicep curls, but still. Anyway, so for those reasons, I do think that it's very difficult to do those S tier exercises at home. Now, you could, if you have a DIY cable setup like me, you could try and do a behind the body. And I've tried this many times, but I really don't like it because I don't like the weight sort of floating around in the air behind me. I don't have it all sort of caged in like you would have on a cable station, the weights there. And it's just not the same. It's not the same as having it, as doing the exercise in a commercial gym. The other thing is like for the preacher curl. Now the preacher curl is going to be even worse, even bigger nightmare for you if you try and do this at home. Now you can buy these sort of preacher pad things that sort of sit on your lap, and you're sort of using them there. I've tried these, and they're not in any way the same as having a preacher curl station, because the preacher curl station, you're really locked into it and you can really feel the isolation. But with that pad, I find you're in an uncomfortable sort of hunched over kind of angle. Also, it sort of slips around on your knees a little bit, no matter what you try and do to stop it. I don't think it's great. So I'm going to talk about three sort of very, very good. I don't know if they're S tier lifts, but they're certainly very close to being S tier for the biceps that you could do instead at home. And the first of these is the easy bar curl. Now, I like the barbell curl, and I think this is a great exercise. However, it does, and this is just for me, but I think a lot of people feel very similar about it. It does sort of put a lot of stress on this particular part of your forearm, and I think that's because you're fixed in a very strange angle there. So I'd rather use the Easy Bar. I know it's a bit of a one-trick pony, but the Easy Bar is, the one I got is very inexpensive. I already have all the weight plates for it, so all you need to do basically is choose one of either the tighter angle or the wider angle. And I think it's a really great exercise. If you want to make it even better, you can, put your back against the wall while you're doing it, and that will stop you from sort of, using momentum and body English and stuff like that to get the weight up. So I think that's a great exercise. The next one I really like is the concentration curl. If possible, using a kettlebell. I think that kettlebells are really, really great for the concentration curl. They take up less sort of space. If you've got like a loadable dumbbell handle or whatever, you've got more space to maneuver around. But also, I just love the weight being right underneath. For me, that weight path is really great, basically. And the other one that I really, really like and it's a little bit more complex to set up. But if you have a DIY cable setup, then you can do cable curls with set the cable low. So I've got 2 anchor points. One is sort of around chest height, and the other one is sort of just slightly above the floor. If I use both of those, if I link the cable up through both of those and pull from the lower one, I find that that's really great. That's a great sort of exercise, and then just basically rotate those 3. That's how I do it. You can also throw in things like a standing dumbbell curl. I think that's great as well. No, actually, there is another one I really, really would actually strongly advise. The incline curl. I really like this. If you have an adjustable bench, then you can do this. An adjustable bench and loadable dumbbell handles. That's great for the stretch position. So the other ones I was talking about there, the concentration curl will give you a bit of stretch, but not quite the same level as the incline curl. With the incline curl, you're starting off in the stretch position there. I think that's possibly the closest you'll get to that sort of cable curl sort of feeling. So there you go. I mean, 4 lifts maybe there, I think, that are relatively easy to set up. And the cable one, if you've got a cable set up, then it will work great for you. The other ones, I think that, most home gym owners will probably be able to sort those ones out. Anyway, I wonder what your thoughts are on this matter. Maybe you have a better suggestion for bicep training at home, maybe some better equipment suggestions or whatever. Please let me know in the comments below. Please like, share and subscribe. That really helps me to grow the channel. Also check out our website, that's ukhomegym.com, and I'll see you next time on UK Home Gym.